left brain, right brain. And we hear about that a little bit and what's associated with creativity, right? All of those types of things. Is that division really as important as people had once thought it was?
I, so the answer to that question is probably not. Let's look at the reality. The brain is divided into two.
Yeah.
So there's a left brain and a right brain, and it's connected by a big bundle of tissues in the middle called the corpus callosum. Um, and but what we're learning is that while there may be like a nexus or a center of activity of one type or another, it's very integrated into everything in the brain. It's integrated across both halves. Both halves. So although you might have people have been talking about speech is on the left or the right or whatever it is, there's components of it on the left and there's components of it on the right. There's some centers, but it used to be the laterality was the most important thing. I believe now the more important thing to talk about is the actual integration and networking across both halves.
For a while, we were probably boxing in certain types of, if you're a left brain thinker or a right brain thinker, and creating categories for people, but we're more complex than that in general, just as human beings. And so being careful to not always label ourselves as something, but really look at the full scope of who the human being is.
And one of the things that was damaging, I believe, in 20 years, 30 years ago, is when we had all these personality types or the brain types. We had labeled people. What would happen is people would self-contain and go, wait a minute, what do you expect? I'm a left brain person. You can't expect me to be relationship oriented. No, we've all got the same abilities in our brain. Whether we're using them or not is a different question. So the idea that the integrated network of brain, think of the brain as the internet in your head, where the internet has got so many branches, so many interconnections between them. Search engines navigate through all these different processes. That's probably the best metaphor you can actually use for the brain rather than a left brain, right brain.
Exactly. And one of the things we've prefaced is we don't want to ever give people excuses to opt out of having to focus on improving their life, right? Or giving an excuse for why they do something. We're all responsible still for the actions of our decisions, right? That end up happening or what happens as a result of our decisions. And I think in this instance, even though someone may not be as good at demonstrating empathy, or there may not be a propensity for some things, that doesn't mean that they can't do it. You may never be as good as someone else at something, just like someone's not ever probably going to be as good as you are at something.